Welcome back to another episode of Psychotronic Coast to Coast. That's me, and my co-host Owen Neal, right over there, the other bearded gentleman you see upon your screen. We just experienced this movie Death Force, and I say experienced because, wowie zowie, the last 5 minutes were pretty fucking spectacular. Out of nowhere, we were as like, oh, this isn't a this isn't a blank star movie. It's not 4 stars. Anyway, this isn't a 4-star movie because we were talking about because it was on Letterboxd. A bunch of people rated it 4 stars, but it's pretty good. And then the last 5 minutes, like, I can see why people might rate this 4 stars now. Like, I get it. I get why people were rating it 4 stars. It was a pretty spectacular 5 minutes. But to get that 5 minutes, we gotta go run through it. And before that, I gotta say this is also released as Fighting Mad, The Force, Vengeance Is Mine, Black Samurai, and Force of Death. Those were the movies, and a bunch of other movies titles that are basically variations of that in foreign languages. Le Samurai Noir in French. That's the worst French ever. It's also French Canadian too, so it's slightly differently spelled. So Owen, you want to take us through this one?
Sure.
All right.
I actually paid attention to this one on the last couple episodes.
Last bit of information I forgot to mention. This is directed by the Roger Corman funded Sergio Santiago. So basically, Roger Corman really liked Sergio Santiago's work in the 50s, and basically from the 60s till their 70s till like the 90s, he basically paid for all his movies. So we got all sorts of cool shit like Equalizer 2000, Wheels of Fire, Vampire Hookers. The Silk, which is, wow, I can't wait to watch Silk on the show. That's a crazy fucking movie. First 5 minutes of the movie are insane. There are like 9 stunts that the main actress did herself that she could have died in like the span of 5 minutes. And that just opens the movie. But anyway, Sergio Santiago is a totally underappreciated exploitation god. This guy made like 30 or 40 movies, 10 of which are like these post-apocalyptic films that all have the same cast, and they have the same vehicles, shot over 10 years, and it's a bunch of dudes in leather and shit, and they're all different movies, but they all have like similar characters in them. It's bizarre. We're gonna get to that too eventually. We have years long plan for this show. So, anyways, sorry, I forgot about that. So now Owen, take us through, please.
Okay. We're introduced to some soldiers. What was it? The Korean conflict?
They were leaving the Korean War. Yeah, this movie starts out full tilt, by the way. Go ahead.
It did?
Yeah. No, insanity, not like violence. Just insanity. Continue.
I don't remember.
Well,
you better take me through that then.
Okay, so it starts out
I just remember a bunch of soldiers sitting around talking about what
the main characters are talking about how they did a lot of dope trading during the conflict, and they're exporting those money in the coffins of fellow dead GIs. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're smuggling gold, contraband gold made from illegal drugs selling through the coffins of dead GIs. That's how this movie begins. That is the fucking setup for the inciting incident, which is, of course, 5 minutes later after these people have been talking forever, and they finally talk to some other dudes and do some exchange, and some shit happens, and then our main character is sitting on the back of a boat, on the front of the boat, and there's 2 friends who helped him steal all the money and gold and shit, are conspiring to kill him. And that's how the movie begins. That's the first 15 minutes of this movie. That's the inciting incident. It's full tilt insane, and then it kind of peers on for an hour and 40 minutes, and then it goes back to full tilt insane. It's then captured by insanity. It's cool shit.
I thought it was going to go a little different, because they sell the gold to this guy who gives them some briefcases of money, which all looks like ones on top. I'm like, that doesn't look like a lot of money for all that gold.
Yeah, but it might be a conversion thing. Like, it might be worth...
And then
it might be like $1 million bills for whatever that currency is, right?
Like, no need to count it, which I thought was suspicious. So I thought the guy was going to blow the boat up.
Yeah.
And the guy was going to survive and then go after those men, but no. his friends like fucking shank him, slit his throat, and throw him over the side of the boat.
The one
And he
friend
wasn't
says to
paying
the other
attention
friend,
to why though.
the one friend says to the other friend, hey, you know, that girl could be yours if he could just be another casualty, and we could have a larger cut. And he goes, I can't betray my
whole idea.
That was literally all he said, and he was, I can't betray my friend. And then there's and then the other guy leaves this frame, and that guy just stares at the camera, or just off camera slightly for a moment, and then we see the main character sitting on the boat, and then he gets fucking stabbed, and you're like, oh shit, he decided to do it, what? Like, oh, okay.
He really wanted that girl, I guess.
Really wanted that girl. Like, really, don't think it's up to you if she wants to be with you, bro, but okay. There's a lot of this problem. This guy has issues with that, not getting what he wants. It's a bit too rapey for my taste.
And then we get basically an hour, not even basically, an actual hour of back and forth of he washes up on the island. There's two Japanese, well, not maybe Japanese. They're playing Japanese.
That is two Filipino gentlemen, one who's much lighter, look almost not Filipino, playing yellow-faced Japanese people who've been there since World War II and don't believe that Japan actually surrendered. And to the point, oh god, you made several mentions of this during the movie about, and now these people nurse him back to health for some reason, even though later on they mention something about like killing people who showed up, right?
Everyone showed up to the island they've murdered.
Yeah. Except him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who they then train.
Who they then heal up and train.
And he even says that the war is over, and they call it American propaganda.
Yep.
And they also, for some reason, speak English.
Pretty good English. Terribly super racist, broken, fake Japanese accent English. It would never happen today because it's a super insensitive thing to do. But like, it wasn't uncommon in the film industry for other people to play different races. It happened all the time back then. It wasn't okay. It's just something that happened. And this is one of those things you're just like, what? Wow. Okay.
And when that's going on, the two guys who thought they killed him just start taking over back home. They're just murdering every other mob boss or gangster there is, and just making their own empire. Yep. And at first, before he gets too rapey, he's just like, "Oh yeah, he's dead," and he's trying to smooth his way into her pants.
Which like it's kind of sneaky, but like like whatever. If she likes him, then who gives like that shit happens, whatever. But like has no interest in him at all.
And it was never really, I have to assume, because it was never really established, if you remember, where like she loses her job. Maybe there was something there we missed, but then every place she goes, they're like, no. So I have to assume he blackballed
I think he blackballed her.
So
I think that's the idea.
To work for him.
Yes, yeah. He wanted to give her a job so she'd owe him, so that she'd feel inclined to do things. Which, by the way, not how you're supposed to do things. It's super rapey, guys. That's not cool.
He gets frustrated with her not wanting him, and then beats her and chokes her. And so then she definitely doesn't want him.
And while this is all going on, our main character, badass himself, Death Horse himself, is just chopping lots of coconuts and spearing fish and carrying buckets of water and doing your everyday samurai training as they decide to train him in the ways of the ancient samurai.
It's like him not being very good. Switch back. They shot some people in bed. Switch back. He's now chopping coconuts really well. Switch back. They shot some more people.
And at one point, I'm watching him like chop some like coconuts, because they keep cutting back to chopping coconuts and shit like that. Like it's kind of repetitive. We mentioned how this part could have been trimmed down by about 15-20 minutes easily. Just condensed.
What? 45 minutes.
That being said, yes, true. That being said, there is a moment in the scene where we're on the island, he's training, and then it cuts to this room, and I look at the room, and I look away for a second, and then the scene ends because everyone in it got shot. And I was like, what? And it was like a second. The scene was up for a second. I looked over, I'm like, okay, bunch of people here, and I look over here because I'm trying to like get ready for the show. I'm preparing notes. I'm doing things like that, and I look back and the scene's over, and we're back to chopping shit in the island. I'm like, oh, okay, that was okay. It's a really short scene.
And there's a scene. There's like two Japanese guys. One of them seemingly seems jealous. At one point, he's climbing up the ladder, all rickety and kind of grumpy, and he falls off and dies.
Yeah, he's butthurt because he's no longer the second man on the totem pole. He's now third man because the new guy is way cooler than he is. More muscles, better samurai, that kind of thing. In fact, at some point, the first samurai guy says he is the shogun of the island, and he's number 1, and the other guy's number 2. And at some point, that guy, the shogun of the island, gives the main character, Death Force, the sword of the pathetic guy. And that was like final straw, and he just felt really bad, and then he falls serendipitously off the ladder.
Yep. And we might as well just jump ahead because that's
the last interesting part. But no, we can go to the rescue. We can talk about them getting rescued at least.
Yeah, the rescue. That's where I was jumping.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. All right.
So a boat shows up with some soldiers. I'm not sure what army. They speak English. They have green outfits like Americans.
I don't know.
But they're not Americans.
It's never really. They're an army.
Yeah.
We don't know what nationality they are supposed to be because they are wearing the same color uniforms as the Japanese characters.
And some reason, what was it, 20-something years afterwards, they're still going around sweeping island for Japanese World War II.
Surveying the islands and shit for survivors of like things like this. Being washed up on shore and shit.
Okay, sorry, I hear someone coming in the house.
That's fine. I'm cool. I heard it too, so I paused. I'm like,
So I'm
you're
like,
gonna cut this out. Yeah, it's fine.
Who's coming in the house at 1 a.m.? I could get shot live on air here. So yes, so they're looking around. He's running the Russell, or if you want to call him Death Force.
I like to call him Death Force because it's funnier that way. Because this movie is okay. If you've ever seen a movie called Blood Debts, one we're gonna cover on the show, I guarantee you, because it's basically this movie. It's the same thing. It's like there's a good shit at the beginning, boring in the middle, and then it's insanity at the end. You're like, oh my god, it was so worth it. And you might say that your patience may vary, obviously. I thought this was worth it, but I'm saying like that. So it's like that. So it's gonna. I'm basically this episode. You won't even hear this episode on the podcast until we see Blood Debts, because when we see Blood Debts, that's getting paired with, because this is so much the same thing essentially. It's perfect. It's the perfect level of insanity to pair with each other. So I'm calling him Death Force because we're calling that guy Blood Debts because I think his name's Mark in that movie, but who gives a fuck? His name's Blood Debts. You know what I mean?
But him and the Japanese guy split up. Japanese guy kills 2 of the soldiers. Other guy gives up, and then he's like, I'll go talk to him, because obviously, hey, I'm not Japanese. So they're like, all right. So he goes, talks to him, but he realizes he's failed. His apprentice is a bitch.
In his eyes, he thinks.
So he gives himself the old.
He feels dishonored by his actions. He thinks like his student should have acted in his defense instead, and so he commits seppuku, which is honorable suicide in this case.
And then he's like, well, I'm out.
And he's like, all right, he's dead, guys. He can have the island.
And of course, during this point as well, the 2 friends are now they own the town. They own all the businesses. They're the big shits in town.
And their main headquarters is like a Sistine Chapel table in front of a stained glass window with really terrible Italian racist music playing, like racistly Italian music. Like
one guy's gone full mob Italian, and the other guy's just a black dude that hangs out with him.
Yeah, Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
But he gets on his Russell gets on a sweet swanky suit, nice red suit.
I'm going to
Shows
add this guy
up,
to our frame too at some point.
but
Death Force is going to get cut out and put onto our frame. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just got
yeah.
distracted.
But right before he gets home, the girl's has no money, so she has to leave her place. She moves in with her waitress friend. So when Russell gets home, he can't find her. But he makes friends with a Japanese cab driver. Something we didn't see in the hour-long setup was he apparently learned Japanese.
Yes. Oh, and the cab driver's name is Kimura. And I only remember that because Brock Lesnar used the Kimura lock. Which is just another name for like some sort of armbar. I'm not entirely sure the name.
I mean, that cab ride must have had a hell of an impression because he's just like, he mentions how the town's bad and these two people, which I don't remember the names, the two people that betrayed him were like running the town. And he's like, interesting. And he's like, find out where they are. And the cab driver's like, okay. I'll ask suspicious questions around town about these people.
Exactly.
Very bad and dangerous.
Yep, because he's just some random guy. They're not going to hurt him. He's innocent.
He finds out some information, as well as he finds out where the guy's girl is, but that's jumping a little ways ahead. But yeah. So first he goes and does some questioning, chops some people up with gut slices, which we were making fun of because he went from like he's a trained samurai to just the sword just
he's
waving around.
Yeah, he like we watch him training. So here's my theory. Okay, he did the training montages after the second. I think that's all. It was the second half of the film, right? The second half of the filming, and I think this early stuff when just flailing around like a dumb fucking fish was earlier in the shoot when he wasn't so trained. That's my theory. Because he's literally on the island. You can see him. He's actually like he's not a great martial artist. He's not like the smoothest, but you see he's doing the fucking right moves at least, you know. His arms are where they're supposed to be for the most part. Well, not the great, like I said, not the greatest in form. Who cares, right? Then he gets back home and he's just like, rah, rah, rah. He just slices one. He just keeps doing the same attack. He like slices two dudes' guts open, and I was like, let me guess, 5 more gut slices, and there were none more. There were none more gut slices. So I predicted 5 more. There were none more. That's sad. Because we got 2 quick gut slices, like within like scene after scene. I was like, holy shit, gut slicing, yo.
Yep. And then I believe at this time the bad black dude shows up, beats the girl up, tells her that she's gonna be his no matter what type of situation, and then he shows up afterwards, and then they like reconnect and make out. There's a weird montage of him and like literally she's got like a black and blue on her face from being beat up. He never mentions it. They start kissing.
Oh, he mentions it later after they have sex, but
yeah,
he's like, I can ignore this shit for a few minutes. So I gotta get my dick wet. Hold on.
He just ignores the fact that these 2 people tried to kill him. Now they run the town, beat his girl up.
He's got to fuck first, man. He's got priorities.
And then he's just like, let's have a montage of us running around the beach with our kid.
And fucking. They were fucked, too.
Which you missed the part of where they're running with the kid and the kid's feet are barely touching the ground. They're just basically dragging him and he's just like trying to run.
Oh, that's great. He's going to make a gif of it. It's going to be great. Can't wait.
And then he heads back on his mission to kill those 2 guys.
Yep. But I mean, he asks her, what happened? Who roughed you up? He said. He worked you over is what he says. And she tells him. And he's like, oh shit, son. He's done fucked up now. And he goes to war with these people.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I think he kills some more goons, but eventually he gets to the black guy.
Yeah, so he cuts one guy's... He cuts one guy's gut, then he cuts another guy's gut in another scene, and then he gets attacked by some guy at a barber shop with a revolver with a silencer somehow.
Yeah, which was great because he just like took it and just stuck it in the barrel.
Yeah, it's because you can't.
Like there's no twist on or anything. He's just like.
Pro tip: the silencers and revolvers don't really work that well because the sound escapes from the the whole part where the bullets are held, because there's openings there, and the reason why a silencer works the way it works, technically it's called a suppressor, it doesn't silence anything.
Yeah.
The only reason why it works is because all the sound comes out the tip of the fucking gun, and it's from the explosion, and so the baffles in it produces the sound waves and the explode in the pop. What do we call that? Blanking on the word. Just the term flew out of my head. Anyway, so like, you know, you can't do it with a revolver very well. I'm sure they exist, alright? And I'm sure they kind of work. But they're not going to be as effective. It's not like you can use it in a barber shop in a crowded city and people aren't going to fucking hear you shoot the gun. People are going to hear you shoot the gun. It's not going to save you, you know?
I'm sure that city's been so shot up that they just keep their mouth shut at this
Nobody
point.
gives a fuck. I ain't see or hear anything. What about when the guy got thrown out the second story window? I didn't see shit. Sir, you were saying right here. Like, yeah, I know. I was looking left. Guy fell to my right. I don't know. You just gotta say some shit because you gotta keep yourself alive in this situation.
If I say shit, I'll be the next one flying out.
That's right. I don't want to be from the third story, so I didn't see shit. Anyway, so
yeah, there's a lot of slicing and dicing. He finally reaches up to the white bald dude, one of the guys, the guy that actually slit his throat. He's got a sword to his neck and then just cuts. I'm like, what the hell? But it was all for a purpose. The one-eared guy in the hospital gets a package, and it's that dude's head, which is he's just him under the bed with his head stuck through the box.
Oh, and when you got his ear cut off, didn't we actually see his ear fly off his head or something like that?
It fell. It looked like a chunk of something.
Oh, well, we're gonna see that in the gift replays. It's alright. Probably laugh at how bad it looks after that, but I was like, holy crap, his ear! I was kind of shocked that they even did that. They didn't have to. They could have done a blood splatter on the wall and I've been fine, you know.
So a normal person at this point. Now, granted, a normal person like the white guy was just like, I ain't leaving. I built this. This is mine. I ain't leaving. Which he should have just bailed at that point when there was a guy trying to kill him, but he didn't. So this guy, one-eared guy is just like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Mexico, but I'm gonna steal that guy's woman, his child, and the friend of the woman's, and take them to Mexico. Because that's a great plan.
Because that'll totally win her over if he's kidnapped her to another country and she has no other option. Like, you idiot.
And then there's this white dude that kind of shows up. I don't know if he's another bad guy or a cop, but he's just kind of like, hey, I know where he is.
I think he's just an assassin. I think that's all he is.
I mean, he makes the hint that he wants these guys gone. That's why he's fine with him chopping up the city. So we don't really know what he's
maybe he's
supposed to be.
one of the bosses. We must have missed that part, I guess, or maybe he's in a really inconsequential scene. But
yeah, he shows up a couple times helping him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's in Mexico, so he grabs his samurai gear. At some point, Kimura dies as well. Killed.
That's because they go to the house and they kidnap the wife, or the friend and the daughter, or the son, I mean, and they don't take him. Oh, yeah, I guess it's probably because he fought back. They probably would have kidnapped him, but he fought back like an asshole, and they just like, well, fuck you, and they killed him.
So then shit starts going crazy in Mexico. There's like, every bad guy he kills is just head off. Head's freaking flying. He also... He comes in the room. I'm assuming he raped her because he was putting his jacket on when he came back out. But he goes in the room, slaps the friend, hits her in the ass with the door. I'm pleased to say there's no actual rape in this movie. It's just implied. Yeah. So, I know that's a real big problem with a lot of these explanation films. They're just like, suddenly rape! And it's filmed like a titillation of porn scene. You're like, why? There's no nudity in this. No, there is no nudity. I was really shocked by that. It's just a lot of gore. But the thing we didn't also mention, the friend waitress, the white girl, she actually liked one of the bad guys. I don't think she knew she was bad. But then, like, soon afterwards, he starts beating her because the boss tells him to, pretty much. Jesus. Like, boss told me to slap you, so smack. Yeah. So she tries to run away, and he shoots his own woman in the back. Smooth move. And then he goes down to look for her body. It's missing, and then, whoop, there goes his head. Yep. and then he slices off 3 of the Mexican dudes' heads.
Like, so
puts
there's
them
like 4 beheadings in like a minute. You're like, what? I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, holy shit, that's 4 beheadings. I was like, literally counting this shit.
He puts them on
Happened
some
really quickly.
stakes, and then all the other Mexican guards are like, "No, we're out." They all hop in a jeep and just bail.
That's smart, wouldn't you? You're like, dude, I was playing fucking dominoes with that guy like 2 hours ago. I'm fucking out, dude. Fuck that shit.
I don't know. I assume if you're gonna take a role guarding a bad guy's house, you would know she would go down, and you're supposed to be prepared for it.
I'm sure these guys have to deal with cartels, and the cartels are way more fucked up than that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So now it's down to him and the last guy that betrayed him. He comes out. Obviously, it's a fake deal, but he's like, "Hey, take the girl and the kid and just leave. You know, go away." And then for some reason, he starts shooting around her. He comes out and runs at him in slow motion, gets shot, keeps running. And then the oh shit scene where he just stabs the guy, lifts him over his head, throws him down on the ground.
Like a motherfucking badass. Just, I was like, holy fuck. It's so cool.
Do we want to say the ending, or do you want to save that?
I don't think I want to spoil the ending. I think the ending has to be seen. The ending happens and it comes so quick. You're like, what? I was like, okay. Oh shit, what? And it fucking ends. And you're like, oh my god. It's brutal.
All you need to know is he got his revenge.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's funny is him stabbing his former friend through the gut for trying to murder him and for raping his wife and fucking everything up in his life. You know, he gets that shit. Sorry I have to spoil that for you, but that's not the end of the movie. You gotta see the fucking end of this movie to believe it. Trust me, slog through this. Just get to the fucking ending. Fast forward if you have to, but get to the end. You have to see the last 20 minutes of this movie. Bonkers. It's bonkers, man. But yeah, as we stated, it takes way too long to get to this point. For most people, will not sit through this movie.
An hour. There's
an hour in the middle of just nothing but back and forth training montage. It could be easily trimmed down to 20 minutes. After
about 4 back and forth, you already know, like, all right, he's gonna be trained. He's gonna become a samurai, sword ready.
Yeah.
And they took on over the city. Done.
Yep.
Chop 30 minutes off right there.
It could take an hour to chop it down to 20. I think you chop 40 minutes off almost. I really think you could chop it down to it. I think you can make this a 90-minute movie easily.
Yeah.
If this was a 90-minute jog, holy fuck. This was 90 minutes, this would be 4 stars.
Instead of jumping back and forth, just give us a montage with some swanky music.
That's what I was saying. And then they montage the part you want to see. They montage the sex scene and the family time and the character growth scene, but they don't. But they make you sit through all the fucking training.
I also think that montage took place on one day too.
Oh, probably.
It's not like he spent a week with her and was like, all right, now I go back to killing.
Right? It's just like, yeah. So yeah, I give this movie 3.5 stars. I recommend it. Get to the end. Just get to the end. Trust me. Get to the end. That's it. I recommend it. You have to at least see it once.
Yeah.
You may not want to own it, but you should definitely see it once. I think it's on Amazon Instant for rent for like $5.
100% agree.
What do you rate it?
I'd say 3.5.
Did you totally? Wow, you like this one too, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Right the fuck on.
Like when it finally kicked off, I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, chop them up.
The beheading just came so quick. I was like, holy shit! Oh my god, so many beheadings.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, we can see beheading because mostly he's just like stab a guy, a little slice here.
He slit 2 dudes' guts.
At one point, he did cut a guy's arm and a guy's leg off.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. That was really cool. The arm being cut off was pretty great.
Like paint.
Yeah, it's pure amazing exploitation. This is exactly what when someone says, "Oh, I love exploitation films." If they don't love this film, they don't love exploitation. This is an exploitation film.
I'll have to rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure like the guy's arm he cut off. There's a scene where he's fighting someone else and the guy's just sitting in there. Like he didn't even look dead. He's just like sitting there and he's just like, I'm sad. My arm's gone.
Oh, what are we watching next week?
Hunter's Blood.
You don't okay, that's all on YouTube, right?
Yes.
And
That's what it's called.
What is Hunter's Blood about?
From what little I read is some city slickers go out hunting in the woods and then they become the hunted by rednecks.
And
I'm pretty sure Billy Drago's in it.
Oh, dude, I love Billy Drago. And we're gonna
I assume he's one of the rednecks.
I hope so. And we're gonna double bill that with the week after that with Rituals, which is about adventure seeker Mitzi invites fellow doctor and 3 other physicians. So 4 doctors. 5 doctors go on their annual camping trip. Why can't you just say that?
Oh shit! I've
in the middle of the
listened to a podcast review this.
In the middle of the unexplored Canadian mountains. Yeah, dude. Motown Media covered this.
Yeah,
they did. So this is where we're gonna go. This is a great fucking movie. So
it's Shock Marathons.
Yeah, sorry, Shock Marathons is the podcast. We like Shock Marathons. They're good people.
No, I'm excited.
We watch their movies, so we must like them.
They said it's terrible, so that makes me excited.
It's not terrible. It's not. It's actually pretty. I think it's really good.
I think they said it doesn't make any sense.
Well, it doesn't make it look a sense, but it's fun as fuck. And also for future. Sorry. I'm gonna wrap up. We'll talk to this live stream. If you were here on Twitch, you could have watched the rest of this, but you're not. So we'll see you next week for Hunter's Blood from 1986, I believe. Actually, I can actually tell you right now what. Hold on a second. Before we Hunter's Blood is from 1986. I called that shit. All right. So Hunter's Blood next week on Psychotronic Coast to Coast. We'll see you there, guys. End podcast. Say goodbye, Owen.
Bye.